watching the second episode of our British touring car series.
So since last time, we thought the lighting wasn't good enough in the shed, so we moved this episode to the car, and the lighting appears to be worse. I think that's largely because we spent a lot of time faffing around when it was sunny, having a pint.
You might say faff, I might say prepare. Either way, we're still in an enclosed space and we're still going to talk about touring cars.
Yeah, the end result should be the same anyway.
Well, I'd better, I reckon.
Yeah.
I'm gonna strength to strength, I'd say.
Didn't know you were here actually. Thought you were still in the shed.
I creeped in via the back door.
I thought I'd locked you in the shed actually, so we can have a serious conversation.
What's this guy over here?
We're in a car park of a hotel. Don't ask why.
A lot of builders knocking about and that. Anyway, what has happened in British touring cars after 2 rounds?
Since the last video, we've actually had 6 touring car races.
Yeah.
It's flown. It's flown.
Of which we've sponsored a driver who has finished out of those 6 races once.
We chose the right man, is
Yeah.
what you're saying.
Yeah. You gotta say though, he was fast at Brands.
He was.
And I'm
When he
jumping
was-
ahead a little bit. He was fast at Brands.
He qualified
At
4th.
Donington as well, when he was
He
on
was
the
fast
track.
at Donington, yeah.
So,
Yeah.
He's got the pace. Hopefully, if they get the reliability.
actually, I think at Brands Hatch you could see he was slight. His car didn't have quite the same pace as some of the others, but his defensive driving I thought was really admirable. To be
Yeah.
honest.
I'm really interested to know why his engines keep blowing up. We need to know what the root cause of that is.
Swindon sorted out.
Yeah, but Swindon supply engines to loads of other cars. Why is it blowing up in his car, in the chassis? And why do the tyres just completely degrade and just completely go off halfway through the race?
I haven't seen this many punches in a long time, to be honest.
Jake
I don't
said-
think there's been this many punches for a
Jake
couple
said
of
after
years.
one of the races that the car was like, it like fell off a cliff handling wise, like halfway through the race. It's like, why is it just going to pot?
Is it just front wheel drive in that huge heat?
There's just too much
Can't
grip
handle it.
early on with the heat, and by the time it gets to the end,
They've never driven Brands Hatch in those temperatures,
So
have
to be
they?
fair, that's new ground. To be fair.
Anyway,
Does it mean the rear wheel drives are going to dominate this year though?
look
Looking
after
very
the
good.
tyres a bit better than
looking
BMW.
like that at the moment, isn't it?
I was going to say rear wheel drive walkover, but to be fair, those new STs have been really surprisingly good straight off the bat.
Yeah, it looks to be a good car. Well, it's always been a good engine, hasn't it? It's always been pretty fast.
Should we start with the first round, Donington?
Yeah, let's start with Donington.
Let's talk about qualifying first.
If I can
'cause
think
this
back
was-
a week.
qualifying, it feels like a long time ago, but qualifying was interesting because no one had any weight. Level playing field. Who was on pole?
You're never going to guess who was on pole.
I've seen
let me
the
guess.
qualifying. I watched it. I know who's on pole.
They were talking about it like we didn't see it.
I did.
Was it the champion?
It was, yeah.
It was, yeah. Who'd have guessed it, eh?
Yeah.
But the surprise there is Ashley Sutton.
Actually, I don't know what my
Third.
predictions were, but I'm pretty sure I said Turkington, Camish Sutton.
We had put a graphic
So
up.
not
We had put
live.
a graphic up, like up here somewhere,
Oh, yeah,
to say whether you were right or not.
or maybe around
Somewhere
here.
in this locale.
Yeah, click like, subscribe.
is that for the French
No, you
viewers?
can't say that.
Why
that's
not?
that's
Why
our
not?
joke. We've been working on that.
YouTube told us to stop saying that so much.
Did they?
Spamming the algorithm.
Oh. Anyway, the surprise in that lineup.
I did say that though, to
is
be fair,
Ash
but it
Sutton.
might have been championship. I'll have to edit this accordingly if I'm wrong. So if you're watching this, I'm right.
Why don't you just go back to the previous video and edit my predictions so it looks like I was more accurate? Who did I even say? I think I said Jake Hill was going to win the
I
championship.
think you did.
Oh,
yeah.
I think you said he was going to be up there.
I think he might win the Wingfoot award.
So, since last time, I've done a bit of research
Oh,
on the Wingfoot.
No.
Yeah.
I've read up on it, and it's a qualifying championship effectively. I thought it was for admirable driving.
Just a panel of judges.
Oh, well done, you.
Damage, style, control, and aggression.
Yeah, yeah.
that'd be
That
amazing.
fella with the beard from the judges on Robot Wars.
Yeah, that'd be amazing.
Oh, what was his name?
Wingfoot.
Professor.
Well, they're coming up.
Yeah, edit that in. Hang on. Round this area.
There's a lag on there.
I'm trying to watch a screen, but it's like a second behind or something. So
Anyway,
if you could do it,
can we
edit that in across
Yeah.
the top, like
Oh.
that is really
It's
weird,
the end of the
isn't it?
video, by the time we've seen what's
Across
happening
the top there.
Can we get back to what we're actually on about here?
What are we on about again?
Like, who did what
Qualifying.
in Donington Park
qualifying.
qualifying?
It's literally as we expected, really. Colin Turkington, Dan Camish. But then to be fair, Sutton up there in third.
So the
Like,
internet.
That was a surprise for me, right? Because last year that Infinity, I thought it was garbage. I thought it was going to be down the bottom somewhere. Oh, and if you look at it, I mean, if you look at Aidan Moffat, it probably is down the bottom somewhere. To be fair.
Yeah.
Well, it is because he's getting absolutely smashed by his
I
teammate.
told you he was rubbish, mate. No one on the internet believes me.
He's blaming it on learning rear wheel drive
no,
in the
it's
car.
just-
But as a professional racing driver, should it not matter?
He's had long enough. Put it that way.
Didn't he have about 4, maybe 5 rounds in it, which is like up to 15 races in it?
He had all
year?
last year, didn't he?
No, it was half
Not
of
halfway.
Half of it, yeah.
it. So that's a lot of races, and he's still not
Was
to
the
grips with
first
it.
race last year at Snetterton? Can you edit that in here?
If you're wrong, if you're wrong, I'll edit it out.
Edit
It's
it
gonna be
out.
short videos.
Edit. Anything I say that's wrong, just edit out.
All right.
Anyway,
Just pure silence for me the rest of the
I
video.
don't have that much time.
anyway, qualifying was
Yeah.
as we expected, wasn't it? What happened in the races?
So yeah, it's all. I mean, Jake Hill, to be fair, up in 7th in qualifying, that was very promising
That was good, yeah.
because we knew he's always had potential, but 7th is
he's
probably
up
the
there.
best he's done.
He's
I
up
assume.
there with the big boys, isn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, he is at the sharp end.
Race 1 was an amazing way to kick off the season. To be honest, there's a lot of action at the front, and the thing about the stats is it shows Sutton down in where does Sutton end up?
Where did he finish?
Yeah, he finished in 14th.
He pushed too hard.
But if you
didn't he?
remember, he got up into like, was it first or second place?
Yeah, but he did his
Then had
usual.
a racing incident all the way down to the very back and came all the way back up to
Yeah,
14th.
but
That was incredible
But
watching.
if that was Colin Turkington, he'd have gone. Do you know what? I need to calm this down a little bit, right, and finish the race. And
Yeah,
but he didn't. He went too hard for the win, as he always does.
Ash, I think Ash, if he'd have just like played it, he was clearly fastest on the track at the time. I think if he'd have just took his time,
Bring it home.
just took his time, he'd have got the win. I think.
Yeah.
Bring it home for the team and for the sponsors. He's very, very like selfish, isn't
But I
he,
think
going for the
that's
win?
the
Well, I
that's
know,
the
but
beauty
that-
of it as well.
I thought he's always been that way, and that's. I mean, Lavorg, when he won the championship, was a great car, but he was also on the ragged edge of that car.
Yeah,
it
watching
was amazing to watch.
I remember
Just-
there was a race we were watching at Snetterton, and he was just like, I can't remember where he started on the grid. It was
Yeah,
it was
I think
about
I
12th
remember
or
it,
something.
Yeah, and we were
Edit that
in
in
awe,
somewhere
weren't
around
we?
here. Edit that in. But like, I still kind of felt like he was in with a really good chance of winning it, and there's not many drivers you can say that
No.
about. Even Turkington, we've seen him do it a couple of times when he's needed to, but generally, like, you know, bag the points, finish 5th if he. Rather finish 5th
But-
than risk it to get 4th maybe and a few more points.
yeah,
But
that's
to
him
sum it-
all over them.
But to summarise with Sutton, yes, he was very quick. It's exciting. He did well at Brands. It was even more exciting. The internet's going wild, saying he's going to win the title and he's Turkington's main contender. Blah blah blah. But I don't know. I think that's getting a bit ahead of
I don't
yourself.
know.
Really, it's a long season.
To be honest, the past couple of years, he hasn't. Well, the last year, it looked like he wasn't himself. But straight at the bat, it looks like when he won the championship,
Well, he did.
throwing
yeah.
the car everywhere
But
and
clearly-
still being on pace. With a car that's got more development in front of it, it could be. It's going to be an amazing story for Sutton.
The Facebook pages and the forums and everything were just like, I think, going a bit too crazy over it,
Yeah,
saying
that's
it's in
what
the
I mean.
bag for
That's what I
Sutton.
mean. Yeah,
Oh,
that's
no,
what
I
I
wouldn't
mean.
go
They're
that
going
far.
too far with it after like 2 rounds.
Yeah, we didn't know at that point, how does it cope with a bit of weight in it, stuff like that. We know the BMW carries its weight well.
And in Ingram, finishing 4th, is probably a bit better than he did last year, I think. So that was a good sign, that really. And Butcher in 3rd
Yeah,
with
he
a
needs-
brand new car.
He needs to stop
Brand new
flashing
car.
his lights, Tom Ingram. If you're watching, Tom,
Yeah, he does.
stop flashing your
Yeah,
lights,
he
just
flashes
race, mate.
lights a lot. Yeah. Anyway, the surprise on race 1 there, Donington, Sam Osborne.
Yeah,
What a
7th,
result.
amazing to be fair.
7th.
Yeah, that is really
Not a
impressive.
patroniser way, but like someone who's always been in the back the last year.
It just
be
goes to
seventh.
show like the difference a car can make. For all of a sudden, he's gone right up there, and I think credit to MB for getting him in, recognising what he can do.
It's just a real shame about Jake, isn't it? Something's going on with reliability there, because it wasn't just Brands. At Donington, it happened again at Brands, didn't it?
I do remember though when was this the race where when he was actually in, he was up to like the top 10, I think.
Yeah,
was he?
I think so. Yeah.
So that was promising, but there's something going on with that car, isn't there?
Every race so far, I've been just watching the graphic on the side of ITV, and it just
Creep
like,
up
at a
and-
minute you're like, wait, where's Jake gone?
Yeah, and suddenly, oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's something's really going on there, isn't it? Which they need
How
to
many
get to the bottom
engines
of.
has he got through?
They've done 2 engine changes, haven't they?
Yeah. He's got through.
Credit to that team though.
He's got 3 more engines in the last 2 weeks than I've had.
Hot dinners.
Oh, dinners.
I think that's the saying, isn't it?
butties for tea.
He changes his engine more often than you change your bills.
I saw the
Edit that
glint
bit
in your
out.
eye and I knew
I
that
know,
was coming.
Edit
I
that
was
bit-
like, yes, proceed.
edit that out in post.
It's gonna be a graphic here of Stu's bills.
Anyway, they wouldn't fit on the screen.
YouTube would shut us down again.
You'd have to move it to wide angle. Super,
Indirectly, you'll
super
get us banned again.
wide.
We haven't got the technology, you're going to have to take them off and I'll hold them on.
Oh no.
It's not in widescreen, fisheye lens.
Anyway, what happened in race 2?
Crotch area has perished. Not even the net lining.
Why the crotch area?
I don't
The
know.
gusset.
What happened in race 2?
Doesn't Gusset drive this year?
Hello.
Huh?
Aiden Gusset.
Race 2. You forgive me for thinking I haven't refreshed the page here, but it looks like Colin Sexton's won again.
Rory
So,
Butcher, fair play to the man.
Yeah, that Focus
Yeah.
looks mega fast.
He's
brand new car first year.
he's a proper touring car driver now, isn't he? Like when he first
Yeah.
came into it, I was like,
You didn't rate him, did you?
no, I just thought, oh, you're mates with Gordon Shedden. If I
His
was mates
cousin, I
with,
think.
You're not just
Nephew or
mates
something.
with him, he's related
if I-
to him.
They're not mates, they're
it's
just
his-
related.
It's his wife's.
No.
Why is it cousin?
Rory's sister is the MD of Knockhill Circuit.
Yeah, I'm saying to Shedden.
And
but he's
she's
not
married to Gordon Shedden.
No,
Yeah.
they are related though. Aren't
So
they?
they all work at Knockhill together.
They're related and work together. It's Scotland, small country, Scotland, isn't it?
Yeah.
Rory, if you know what relationship you are to Gordon Shedden, comment below.
Yes.
Like, subscribe.
Yeah, so I didn't rate him that much. I just thought he was, you know, he had Shedden in his phone book, and he just thought, you know, I'll have a whirl in touring
Rolodex.
cars.
So then he came into the Civic that Jake's driving now.
He was he in an MG? Was
was fast,
straight
innit?
into the Civic?
He was in the
No,
ST
he was in a,
before
he was
that.
in a
Motorbase.
ST, yeah, Motorbase originally. He's been
Yeah.
in
Those
Motorbase
cars are
before.
getting on a bit.
But fair play, I think he's
He's doing well, yeah,
he's
really
one
well.
of the best now.
Yeah, he's been steadily getting better and better, hasn't
Yeah.
So Turkington's sidekick now is Tom Oliphant.
he? Sidekick.
He's a
On and
sidekick,
off the
isn't it?
track.
Well, yeah, isn't it? Pretty much. He's doing
Yeah,
surprisingly
there's-
very well.
He is. He's his sidekick now because they were a trio, weren't they?
Well, yeah, exactly.
Pinky in the fucking brain. Them two.
Which one's which?
One's a
Love
genius.
Pinky in the
the other's
brain.
insane.
WSRR taking
love
over the
Pinky
world.
in the
I love
brain.
Pinky in the Brain.
Yeah.
It's great.
Not my favourite cartoon, but
So it's the
well, look out for another cartoon video.
it's the usual people, isn't it?
Hmm.
The usual suspects all up at the top, but with a
Apart-
couple of curveballs like Butcher and Sutton and stuff flying up there at the top, and the rest is just the same old crap, isn't it?
Matt and Neil 7th there.
Well, yeah, that's what I
pretty
mean. Shit.
Adam Morgan.
Matt, don't kung fu me!
What was jiu-jitsu?
Oh yeah, jiu-jitsu. Fung.
So race 3.
Nitsu.
Let's see what race 3 brought us.
Race 3, the classic reverse draw. Sutton won there. I can't remember where he started. I think wasn't Chris Smiley on pole in the Hyundai?
I think so.
Yeah, he was.
I
Yeah,
think
he,
he
just
was.
he let him through basically because he knew.
It's a
how
good
sharp it
result
is.
for Chris Smiley. That and
Brand new
as
car.
a new car.
Yeah.
That's a really good drive holding on
Small
for
team as
second.
well, isn't it? That's the accelerated team, isn't
So,
it?
Yeah.
Should probably know this, but
And Adam Morgan, pretty decent position there, isn't it?
well, I think Adam Morgan's been underperforming the past few
Can I
years.
just ask a question? Why does it on the Btcc website go position 1, 2, then 4? What happened to third?
Is that with the? Oh, that's a good point there. What's not happened there? Oh, not counted? No. Don't
know. Either way.
know. There won't be a graphic because we won't find out. So, yeah, Ollie Jackson, to be fair, 4th.
Yeah, really good. Yeah, really impressive drive.
He'd be getting a nosebleed that high up.
He's gathering consistent points, isn't he?
Rory Butcher 11th there.
Creasy lad. That's a good performance.
I gotta get it out there though, like I was thinking before, like in my mind I'm thinking, because we've had, you know, high profile, consistently good drivers drop out, like Jackson, Plato, Jordan, and I know Tordov said he wasn't going to do this year, but he has been the past few years. If those 4 guys were in it this year, how would this look now? I feel like some of these people just get straight away bumped down 4th places from them.
I agree, yeah.
But it is what it is. I mean, you've got to be in it to compete at the end of the day.
Jackson's a good driver. You don't know how he'd take to the to that Astra.
Yeah.
JP's been hit and miss, hasn't he?
I think they'd be in the top 12, all of them though.
They would, yeah, I
thereabouts.
agree.
Yeah.
You can't. It's been really exciting though so far, hasn't it?
But yeah, to be fair, on the other hand, even though I'm missing those guys, it's kind of giving these other guys a chance to mix with some of these big names, and it's really interesting watching that play out. Because to be fair, even if those guys aren't in it, Ollie Jackson, Dyson with the likes of Dan Camish and Matt Neal, Tom Oliphant, and still keeping his position.
Yeah,
fair play, to be fair. You know what I mean? He's still up there, going door to door.
So Donington was wild. Couple of exciting entries, mixing it with the big boys.
After the wait, I think
it
was definitely a good comeback.
So then we moved on to Brands Hatch at the weekend just gone.
So
that is a good presentation for us, that.
It was good.
Yeah, I've been practicing that today.
FP1, FP2. Jake Hill looked like he was gonna be ruling the weekend, didn't he?
Oh, yeah,
that was a statement, though, wasn't it?
He topped both. I think he topped FP2 by about half a second.
Yeah, I think it made the rest of the grid, and even the ITV commentators go, "Whoa, this guy is very fast. He's a serious player."
Because of that, if you do that, you're expected to put it on pole.
He had no weight to be fair.
I think he was 0.055 off pole.
So
for
less, I think. No, look, 111. 166.
Yeah, 0.055.
Oh, sorry. That bit out.
Yeah.
5 cents.
So I think he was very close to doing it. I mean, I think a couple more clear laps and you're there or thereabouts. So when it comes down to that margin, I mean, it's fine.
In the races, a lot of the commentators were talking about the air inlet temps, weren't they? At the hottest parts of the day. So he was in FP1 and FP2 was early in the morning and then late morning, but quali was mid after like 3, half 3, arguably the hottest point of the day.
I think the interesting thing is
there an issue there?
The heat, so it will give you more grip on the tyres, but is that too much grip too early? And also, the engine, surely the optimal temperature for running an engine isn't 30 degrees or whatever it was on the day.
It's the
colder
the lowest air intake temps,
so
the better, which is in the morning.
What you gain in the tyre, do you lose in the engine when it's a hot race?
Yeah, I think you would definitely.
And I think that's possibly why we saw so many punctures, because people were just like, set it up as we would.
For Brands GP the past how many God knows years?
Yeah, and I think Rory Butcher was unlucky because he the safety car came out and the race would have been finished by the time he got the puncture. But actually, I think he locked up under the safety car because he was going around like, I think, was it Paddock Hill Bend, and then I think he was he held back and did like a run through the corner, and I don't know if he got a bit carried away, but it was a bit close to the safety car, so he slammed on and that wheel locked up, and it was the wheel that locked up was the one with the puncture. So I don't know if that lock up actually was a contributing factor.
Yeah, I haven't seen that many punches in a long time. So, and it's in the front wheel drive cars.
I haven't seen that many punches since your car.
No, that's saying something.
So in terms of qualifying at Brands Hatch, it was Rory Butcher sticking it on pole with a mega fast time.
I definitely can't buy Goodyears then, can I? Never get to wait.
Dan Cam, Ollie Jackson, Jake. So the BMWs, they had a bit of weight on though, didn't they? So 5th and 6th and quali for Brands.
Dan Camish had a lot of weight on. Was it like 54 kilos?
It's 56, the second place, I think. 60s to 40.
Tell you what, that's a good drive by Senna Proctor. He stuck that new car in 7th.
He was
It's because he's
fast,
carrying
actually.
less weight.
He
That's
looks,
why it is,
he
yeah.
looks like he's lost weight, doesn't he?
Yeah,
You're
he
looking,
does.
you're looking
Looks
trim,
good, yeah.
Senna, like subscribe.
Down to about 21 stone now.
Oh mate, he's looking good.
He's a size him.
He's a big lad. Though,
So race 1, Brands Hatch. What happened? Who won?
Camish, I think Camish needed that to make a point, but Turkington behind him. It's going to be like this all year, and if Camish, it's always like if Camish gets the edge on Turkington, and Turkington's just one behind, and he needs a bigger buffer.
I don't think that's good enough for Dan Camish.
That's what I mean. He needs a bigger buffer.
Yeah, he does.
Yeah, that's the problem with Colin Turkington, because he'll be like, well, I'll come second in this race. I'll come, top 3 in the next race as well, and I'll be there or thereabouts race 3. Whereas you'll have an issue and you'll be out. You'll miss a race, and I've got way more points than you over the weekend. I think, even though Ash Sutton looked really fast going back to Donington, everyone's like, Ash Sutton's going to win the championship, but when you actually look at the standings, Colin Turkington would be like, my job is to come away with the most points, and I've done that.
Yeah.
So really, you'd rather be in Colin Turkington's shoes, wouldn't you, coming out of Donington, rather than thinking, oh, I've got the pace. Well, yeah, you've got the pace, but you don't have the points, and that's what's going to win you the championship.
It's pure business as usual for Turkington. He knows the car inside out.
Same
just
old.
does the job.
And they're a fantastic team, aren't they? That car. I don't think I've ever seen that car break down yet. Have you?
No. Could jinx it though, saying that.
Yeah.
Maybe. Yeah.
Reliable team and reliable driver is a good combination, particularly when you throw a bit of speed
Great drive from Ollie Jackson again. Stuck it on the podium in 3rd.
Ollie Jackson, yeah. I think.
Yeah, to be fair.
For everyone that's watched ITV, I mean, they heaped the praise on him, didn't they?
Yeah.
And rightly so, because he's
been doing it for a long time.
Well. I didn't think he was going to be that fast. I think he threw a lap in fairly late on in qualifying to qualify. Was it 2nd he qualified actually?
Where did he qualify? It was up there, 3rd.
3rd, yeah.
3rd, yeah. And I think he put a new set of tyres on it, and it was just really quick.
Yeah, they're doing really well in that car.
But I think the pace that they were carrying maybe affected the tyres a bit in the end. So
what happened in race 2? Oh!
Turkington won again.
Oh, I never would have guessed it.
I couldn't remember that because you just sort of block it out. You just expect it's going to happen. But Ingram was looking good in the first 2 races actually.
He was
looking very
he looked
very racy.
Yeah.
Corolla's looking better every time I see it go out now.
Yeah.
Maybe for the first time in that Corolla.
I want him to do well simply because I want him to retain that sponsorship for next year. Keep them pasties coming.
Yeah, if he gains, we gain.
Yeah.
Literally.
Ash Sutton stuck it in 3rd. I'm getting used to seeing Sutton in that
fighting his way up,
in that Infinity.
Wasn't quite as intense as Donington, but he was still bringing it up there.
I don't think even in the Subaru Levorg, I don't think he was ever particularly impressive in qualifying. I can't remember him sticking him on pole every week.
No. It's just his racecraft.
It was more like, okay, qualify where you qualify, and then I'll just overtake you.
Well, actually, because people might be, I've seen comments about people criticising the Infinity saying it's pegged back, but the Subaru Levorg was the same, where it was it wasn't even that fast on the straights. It's just the way he could handle it around corners. And it looks like he's doing the same in this car. He's just got a way of taking rear-wheel drives around corners.
Yeah.
Ollie Jackson held on to 5th place. So don't be patronising, but fair play. This is so much higher than he's been for years.
Consistent driving from those 2 drivers. Don't forget they've got another teammate as well. They've got another one of those new Focuses, haven't they, with Andy Neat, who seems to be at the other end
we haven't really spoke about this end.
Because he's a very experienced touring car driver, isn't he? Although he's not been in it for quite a long time, but he seems to be
14th.
It's not a bad drive from him, is it? He's been out of the game for a while, but he's a long way behind his 2 teammates, isn't he?
To be honest, I didn't really expect that much from him, to be honest.
Struggling a bit, but maybe it's just because he's had such a long break from this game. Ooh.
Michael Crease didn't finish twice according to these stats.
This is an interesting one. Look where all of the Honda Civic Type R's are. All down the bottom, and loads of... How many DNFs is that?
Josh Cook, Jake Hill, Tom Chilton, Matt Neal, Michael Crease. All twice didn't finish.
A lot. All the Civics struggling. What's going on
and
with
even
that?
Dan Cam, 19th there.
Yeah.
Something weird's going on with that.
Is that just the front wheel drives in the heat?
No, but there's other front wheel drives. What's the highest front wheel drive?
Yeah,
car
those
there?
STs.
The Corolla's front wheel drive, and so is the Focus. So you can't blame it on that.
You blaming it on Honda?
Yes. Blame it on Matt Neal.
Mate, he'll be giving you the full karate chop.
The full karate kick me.
Aidan Moffat in 12th. I mean, come on. Like, look what Sutton's doing in the same car.
Crap, isn't it? He needs to get to grips with that car quickly.
I mean, who are we looking at? Stephen Jelly in 9th. He's been hovering in the top 10.
Yeah, but I think I said that
meetings.
in my prediction video. He's always just around there, isn't he?
This is better than last year. But again, I don't want to bring it down by saying like we've got 4 drivers in the top 10 who are missing straight away. But
yeah,
you know, you still have up the good of people that are in it. So
what happened in race 3?
Race 3. Who was on pole? I know Turkington was all the way back in 12th, wasn't it?
Aidan Moffat got pulled out of the bag
was on pole
because Turkington did the draw, didn't he? Pulled Moffat out of the bag.
Have we missed Jake's finish? Do we need to go back for Jake's?
Where was that?
Jake's finish, was it race?
No, he came 10th in race 1 and he started in 4th because he qualified 4th, didn't he?
10.
Yeah. But he came 10th.
He did a great job defending though, even though you could see that the cars are faster. Like his defence was excellent.
But he said the car fell off a cliff handling wise. It went really slow later on in the game.
That was the restart. He just got clobbered and lost like 4 places.
Really struggling handling wise, and then those tyres go.
Race 3 then.
So race 3, Aidan Moffat had an amazing opportunity in that very fast car and started in pole. He brought it home in 4th, to be fair, didn't he? But Sutton blitzed him, didn't he? But
is he just rear wheel drive? He doesn't really know. Is that what the issue is here?
He keeps blaming it on that.
I don't know. He's crap in the Mercedes as well, wasn't he? So,
he got 1 win in 3 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Was it a race 3 win?
It was a race 3 win at Brands, actually.
Yeah, I just can't take him seriously, to be honest. At the moment,
did he ever get that emoting?
No, he's
in the Ferrari.
I don't even. I think it was a Photoshop.
Maybe he's playing on his mind. The guilt eating away at him.
Yeah. Aiden, just unblock me. Your performances will be better.
So the driver.
Creasy in 11th.
That's a cracking drive, isn't it, from Creasy lad?
I was born in 10th. There's a lot of names that we have not seen this high up before.
Those Hyundais are doing all right, aren't they? Looking at it after 2 rounds.
Yeah,
not bad at all for a new
small
car.
team, new car.
Yeah.
Yeah, they can only get better over time, more data.
And I tell you what, one of the drives of the day there, James Gornell, 7th.
Yeah.
It's a really, really good drive for him.
Yeah.
And it's really good in that car. It's not a brilliant car, that is it?
That's higher than that car is generally used to being, I think.
That's a good drive with the big boys up there, isn't it?
Who are we overlooking here? Nick Hamilton got his first point.
He did, yeah.
To his credit.
Absolutely brilliant, and there's been a lot written about him online about it, hasn't there, at the moment?
Yeah, there has. I think his ambition, or his aim for the season was to get his first points in touring cars, and he's achieved that on the second weekend.
Yeah,
fair play then.
And he's finishing races. With
he looked like he struggled at Donington. I think he was in the gravel more often.
First 2 races,
more often than not. But
2 safety cars, and to be honest, I was thinking like fair play for being there, and obviously it's a huge achievement. But if you're going to be causing safety cars every race, then
it's a new car. I don't think it's the best car on the grid. He's come from a very strong car to one not so strong, so it'll take him a while to get to grips with it. But I mean,
there's a big difference driving that to what he was driving last year, isn't there?
That makes him more of an achievement then, to be fair.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
So he's got some points on the board. Now do the same again. Get as many as you can. That'll give him some confidence.
Weight off his mind, monkey off his back.
Ollie Brown, the new man in town, stuck it in 13th. That's a decent, it's decent for him, isn't it? It's tough. A tough series to come into, isn't it? With really little experience at this level.
Yeah,
that's a decent drive.
Matt Neal finished this one, I think.
He's been completely anonymous this year, hasn't he?
He has, yeah.
I think he should be up there with Dan Camish. Come on, Matt. You've got.
Is it a bit of Plato, where is he just losing his edge? I don't know. I don't want to say that, but
don't we say this every year?
Is it a bit of complacency? Like after being in that long, do you lose a bit of hunger that maybe Ash Sutton is showing? Like he's desperate to to get a result every race is Matt maybe
But
lost
it feels like a lot. All these other drivers on the grid fight hard and work so hard with the sponsorship and stuff to get themselves on the grid. Whereas Matt Neal doesn't have to bother, does he? He's automatically just in it, isn't he? He doesn't need to fight for his seat or his team.
He's worked for years to get to that point.
Yeah, he has been in it about 30 years. Has he been in the longest in this whole grid right now?
Yeah.
Yeah,
by
it's
quite a long time.
30 years.
It's 30 years.
It's a really long time.
I mean, and to be fair, think about what Matt Neal was doing in his first few years compared to some of these guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, he had such huge achievements in his
That
first few years.
£250,000 check went to his head.
Yeah.
So
spent that in 3 days.
So to summarise race 3, Stephen Jelly sticking it on the podium in 3rd. That's a brilliant result. That's a really good drive for him.
Yeah,
Ash Sutton, well, we've been speaking about him about every race so far. He's right up there, came 2nd. Brilliant again. But the main man of the day in race 3, Tom Oliphant, that's an absolutely brilliant drive, wasn't it? To defend Sutton.
First win in touring cars. I mean, you've given him a hard time.
I have, yeah.
He should be up there in that car because it's that good, but he's done it now.
He's finally done it now, yeah.
And to keep Ash Sutton behind him is a really good achievement. It must have just been
it
a
was
massive
impressive
relief
to watch.
crossing that finish line to get that
He
win.
defended so well.
Of all the
didn't
people to have you behind you, someone who's going to fight for every single place.
I think he said post race that he's the last person you'd want behind
he
him.
is, but on the flip side of this, yes, it was brilliant defending a great drive, but on the straights he was blitzing him.
It was
BMW's
fast on the
miles
straights,
faster on the straights.
yeah, but
it's the corners with Sutton, you'd just be...
Yeah. You'd be worried, wouldn't you?
It was
Your
an
heart would be
interesting
going,
battle
wouldn't
because
it,
the
all
cars
way?
have got different strengths, even though they're similar on paper.
Yeah.
They seem to.
So it was a great round. It's really exciting so far, isn't it?
Yeah.
So in terms of standings, then
Colin
at the top,
Turkington's close enough to 100 points, isn't he?
Already.
I think it's done already, isn't it, for me?
Yeah. It's getting dark in here, boys.
It's dark in here.
Good job we've got some fancy lighting going on.
Whack the contrast up.
The tables are turned. There, Stu, you're amazingly lit up, so and we're not. Maybe that's for the best.
I just naturally walk around beaming with
Radiant
light on
glow.
me.
I think this is now classed as a podcast, isn't it? It's basically, well, we've got no video really. No one can see us,
No.
which is probably
It's
a
very
good thing,
moody,
really.
that, isn't it?
No. Anyway, driver
Late night
standings.
chat.
Driver standings.
We need a phone in, like a late night phone in.
Should we get someone to phone in?
Yeah. Oh, we'll have a phone in next time.
Yeah, we'll have a phone in. We'll
Phone
do
a
that
friend.
next video.
Put your numbers in the comments.
Put your number in the comments and we'll call you.
Yeah. Can't say when or what to talk about.
Back to the standings, please.
So Turkington, 95 points. Ash Sutton, second.
It's like it's Turkington and then everyone else taking points off each other. That's kind of how it feels to me.
Yeah, it's done already, isn't it? Let's be honest. At the top.
See that?
There's a more interesting battle
there's a
further
long
down,
way
though.
to go. I think the way the championship is with the ballast and Gow tickling the turbos halfway through and stuff. I think there's a long way to go. It's far
Gow
from
tickling. What?
tickling the
boost.
turbos.
He's gonna
The gal finger tickle and boost.
Tickle Turkington's turbo.
a little bit of a tickle.
Yeah, I think there's a long way to go. Colin's made a very strong start, and it's going to be tricky with his consistency that we know he's got. But anything can happen in this championship, and we saw that last year. Last year it was down to, I think Dan Camish had about 14 corners to go until he would have won the title.
Yeah.
And I thought,
what an ending.
It was amazing.
It always comes down to the wire, no matter how strong it looks at the start. So I think it's far from done. Ash Sutton is looking strong if they can get that car running fast with weight in.
It is. The usual suspects are up there, aren't they? That top 5 is what I would expect, maybe apart from Sutton in that.
Camish is further than away than I would have hoped or liked him to be honest.
Tom Oliphant coming away from these 2 weekends in 3rd. I mean, he'll be hoping for it. Real chance of a BMW 1-2 this year if he keeps on.
Yeah.
If he keeps on, the car's reliable, the car is quick. If he can just keep placing well, it could be a BMW 1-2.
Could be a great finale on ITV. I love that finale if it's BMW versus BMW team rivalry.
Oh yeah,
that'd be interesting.
Yeah, of course they will.
I do think there'll be some team orders there, and I think
you reckon?
I think Colin would be given preference by the team. I do think so.
Yeah, I do.
If it came into if say if they were like equal points, why would they care who won?
because Colin's going for record numbers of championships.
That's not going to
and
happen though, is it? Really?
I don't. I think it's an unlikely situation, but I think they'd want Colin to win.
So we've got a break at the weekend, and then the weekend after we've got Oulton Park. So predictions for race 1. Go.
Race 1 at Oulton Park.
Yeah.
I think it's gonna. Looking at this, I think it's gonna be the same way, isn't it? It's gotta be. Oh, the winner.
Yeah. Let's just do winners
Second and a safe bet.
for race 1.
I think the front wheel drive ones are going to be Rory Butcher is in with a shout. He was good there last year. The race Jake won, I think Rory was catching him until he went over.
So you're going for Butcher for race 1?
For me, it's between Ingram and Butcher, because Ingram's done really well, but I'll go for Butcher providing his tyres hold up.
And I was going to go
That's
for
a good shout.
I was going to go for Tingo anyway. Going to go for Tingo race 1.
Yeah.
That's a sensible shout, to be fair, mate.
Race 2.
Race 2.
It's hard because it's so much down to what happens in race
first
1.
race.
It is. Yeah.
And hard to overtake at Oulton Park as well.
That's
So
a good
qualifying
point.
is more
Yeah.
important than ever at Oulton
It's a
Park.
good point.
Yeah. I'm going to say Jake Hill for race 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Positive.
Yeah.
But we've been
I like
saying
it.
that, and he
I
didn't
know.
finish. So are we
I don't
jinxing
want
him?
to jinx it, yeah, by doing that. I think I'm going to go for a Turkington race 2.
Yeah.
Josh Cook's done well. I think maybe for race 3, I'd give him a shout. Look,
Really?
you know, a nice little
With a bit of a grid reverse.
nice
Yeah.
little reverse grid. Yeah,
What do you reckon,
he'll
Mike?
be in the top 12 race 2.
Race 2.
Oliphant at this rate, mate.
Oliphant,
Yeah.
are you going for it?
Yeah,
Second
go ahead.
race, back-to-back weekend.
Race 3, winner.
Stephen Jelly won last year. Forgot about that.
Yeah, Josh
Oh, yeah,
Cook
he
for me.
inherited it there, didn't he?
Josh Cook
Josh
for me,
Cook, race 3. I'm going to go for Ash Sutton.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Race 3.
Yeah. And to be fair, with limited overtaking opportunities, Sutton's the kind of guy that's still going to be more
I
confident than
think
some
that's what I'm thinking, yeah.
to
He's,
push through. So could
What
be
do
in
you
his
reckon?
favour there.
what do you reckon, race 3?
Go ahead, I'm going to say Sutton because I think
Yeah.
he'll take chances that are barely there.
It's exciting because I think it is our favourite track, isn't it?
It's the best. It's
Oulton.
It's the best one to go to, I think.
I think it's
Yeah.
it's between
It's a nice
between
festival feel for some reason.
Oulton and Brands. It's a real shame we can't go, but yeah, we're getting used to that now, I suppose.
It's certainly an exciting start to the championship, isn't it? It's very different because A, we're not there, and B, there's some people missing that we'd want to be there as well. It feels a bit odd, but actually it's really exciting. There's loads of stuff going on, isn't there? There's loads of DNFs, all sorts of stuff going on. It's pretty exciting, isn't it?
It's interesting to sort of watch it on TV rather than being there. You do see some things that you would miss if you were there. But then the other way around, I do quite like watching the battles further back on the grid. I feel you miss that on ITV, and they've got to show the stuff going on at the front. If they were focusing on Nick Hamilton in the gravel all the time, you'd be fuming if you missed something exciting.
You can see all that on the Facebook group later, can't you?
Yeah.
Anyway, so that is our summary and thoughts so far.
Yeah, I think that was a bit longer than we anticipated it to be again, but I think it's a lot to
There's
cover.
a lot to talk
It was
about.
back-to-back race weekend, so I think exciting race we're going into.
If you're still watching, thanks for watching.
Click like, subscribe.
Yeah, follow our Instagram, our Facebook, and like, subscribe, and comment.
And hit that bell.
So, what
British
happened?
KwikFit British Touring Car Championship.
What happened